What's up, everybody? We've got Zombie Arbitrage Maiden 4. How's my audio, Kevin? I got like an echo going on here.
No, crystal clear.
Okay. All right. What's happening, Kevin?
Not much. Excited. We have a action-packed night. I think it's the first time we've ever done the funnel finals and the grand final back-to-back.
That's the plan anyway. We'll see. We'll see how it goes because we've got to get these races over. Well, Joe's got to get these races over to Zed after the finals run, and then hopefully they get them scheduled for us.
Yeah, it's total team effort if we can pull this off.
Yeah. So no promises. We will be doing play wagering. I bred 3 horses today for prizes, so they're going to be 4.0s, and they're pretty exciting horses. So Ready or Not is the sire of all 3, and that horse is coming from Notorious and Ready Set Stoned, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Ready Set Boom and Stoneflower there, and then we had some pretty good mares that we threw into the mix there too. So yeah, we'll be giving those away. What should we do? Should we raffle 1 and then give 2 away as prizes, or should we raffle 2 and give 1 away as a prize for play wagering?
It feels like we should do 2 raffles, 1 winner take all for. So like or a subscriber raffle, all raffle, and then first place on the wagering.
Almost knocked my computer over. So excited. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah. Especially these people have been subscribing. There's probably a handful of them that have been subscribed for the past 6 weeks. We haven't done a show, so we owe them at least 1 shot at a good horse raffle.
Yeah, and I bet a lot of them have fallen off, so it might be pretty good odds if you're still subscribed.
Maybe
to get a 4.0.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. I mean, these horses are not cheap to breed now. That's a topic that we should discuss at some point. Like, it's outrageous with the price of Ethereum hovering around 4,000. Like, we just bred these 3 elites in-house, and they're Buterins, and it cost, I don't know, probably like $200 or something like that. So it's expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive game right now. It's going to be an interesting wrinkle. Like, we don't know what the prize is going to be for the next maiden, but it could be like huge based on how much Ethereum came in from breeding when 4.0 started, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw, was it last week or end of maybe early this week? It was already up to like 65 grand. So, I mean, I'm sure that's indexed to Ethereum, unless they've somehow been just liquidating the USDC this whole time. But I mean, it could easily be 100K by the time 3 weeks rolls around.
Right. So welcome everybody. I see JR Skater, Mango Ice, Tropical Strain, Blockchain Bloodline, and Leaf out there. Yeah, welcome everybody. Leaf messaged me. He said he wasn't going to call us out on the show, Kevin, but he didn't like the way that we set up Zombie Arbitrage Maiden because there's no place for crosses and pacers, lower breeds, which is fair. I don't know, we didn't know how to set it up. I guess elites were a little better than we expected. I think when we were setting it up, we thought elites would compete a little bit more fair with the crosses and pay. I have no idea how crosses, and we didn't breed 1 cross, did we?
No, I don't think so. You unearthed that one like class 6 horse, or somebody lent it out, right? And we saw that one, but that wasn't a fresh breed at all. I mean, I think of it basically as every bloodline you go down, every breed type you go down, it's 100 level average decrease. So, I mean, if the average for an exclusive is like 450, the elites are 350, crosses 250, and then 150. So, I mean, it's not an insurmountable disadvantage, and you did get the discount if you bought in with those, right? So that's kind of, if you're half as likely to win and you're paying half the entry fee of another, in a way, it's priced in.
Yeah, maybe the answer is to up the price on elite a little bit to make it kind of soften that competition. But I mean, we did not get very good participation. We were honestly talking about not doing this again because of such low participation. Joe thinks that if we just make it like starting right now, and you could like enter your horses and have no like raced option, so a little bit more true maiden, he might be right. We might get better participation if you don't have the option to to go raced or unraced. I don't know. Interested in what the audience thinks out there. But you know what, Kevin? Before we go any further, I should start up the play wagering. We got 17 people out here. So play wagering, it's going to be winner take all, as Kevin said this week. We're going to have 2 raffles, one for subscribers. We'll probably start that, I don't know, mid-show for the subscriber raffle, and then we'll do one at the end for everybody that hangs around. So let me start play wagering. How much should I give everybody, Kevin?
2,000.
Okay, I'm
Or
resetting.
maybe, yeah, let's do that. 2's good.
2's good. Okay.
Pays to be early.
All right, everyone has 2,000 added, and then so our first race, and I will get the screen share up since I know you're not logged into. Let me start wagering. So the first race we've got is the Sprint Challenger Finals race. We got 6 finals races. I believe we've got it set up so the top 2 from each of these finals races advances onto the grand final, which is a 3-race grand final. Joe will get those races over to Zed, and hopefully they'll schedule them. We requested I think it was 20 minutes after the finish of the last one. So we'll have a little bit of downtime for any questions anybody has or horse analysis. We would love to take a look at some of your guys' best 4.0 breeds and kind of go through those on the show. We did have a couple questions from YouTube that we requested. We had requested people give us questions if they wanted us to do another show, and we never ended up doing the show. There weren't a whole lot of questions, but we can go over those too in the little bit of downtime. So let me share my screen here and show the race that wagering is open. Is wagering open? I don't see anybody wagering. I don't see any points.
You try.
Can you try, Kevin? Yeah. Maybe I need to remod Streamlabs here.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's not working?
Nope.
All right. Well, here is the first race. So we got Tish's 2K in there, and Keith and I bred this special Chasm horse as well. So I've got Stake in 2. Cadet's got Blood Passion down there in gate 6. We got Slug Dome with Pacific Bold in gate 5. Tickle My Fantasy for Mr. Marr. Welcome to the chat, Mr. Marr. And then Thor has Colombian Strange. Love the name. All right, let me figure out the wagering. Kevin, you kind of take over and talk about whatever with this.
That Colombian Strange, I can just only guess where that came from because
I hope there's a good story behind that. Yeah,
been having nightmares of taming Strange these last couple of weeks, making its way into Class 2, wreaking havoc down there. It's one of those, I think, starting Class 4, super variants, good DP, and has just made its way up through leveling. And it still has so many races left. It'll be a force in Class 1, I imagine, if he wants it to be. A little more on this. So this is the Challenger one. So this is Elite and below. Checking our document, there were 14 horses. There's now 6. Like you said, the top 2 here advance to the grand final. They're competing. I think they'll all get paid. All 6 are going to get paid at least something for making the final. The winner of this gets 0.02, so $80-ish, and then obviously can make more in the grand final.
Okay, let me see. I think I might have fixed it. I think I might have fixed wagering here. Give it a shot again, Kevin, and anybody in the chat. What I was going to say, I did set this stream up on YouTube as well. It looks like Eric, you're out there on YouTube, and so is Gustav Vera. You guys, if you want to participate in the play wagering and the raffles, you're going to want to go over to Twitch because it's all set up through Twitch. I just kind of set it up on YouTube to notify people that we were streaming, and it is streaming over there. You can stay there if you don't want to participate, but better to go over to Twitch.
Nothing yet on the...
Still not working, huh?
No response. It's like the bot isn't responding.
Okay, let me cancel this. Let me try closing. Log out. We had this issue before, I remember.
Yeah, was it a login issue? Was it I can't remember.
It was like the last time we reset the password on Twitch, and it whacked out the app that we use for wagering, but I don't think that's the issue. Let's see. Okay, there's no users in the list. That's not great.
Good news is if you don't figure it out in the next 2 minutes, we have 7 minutes until the next one, and there's at least 5 more races. So got a full lineup tonight if we don't catch the first.
I think I've got it. Let's see.
That looks optimistic. Yeah, there you go. I think it's working. Yep, we're back.
All right. Just in the nick of time. So I'm picking Tish's 2K.
Yeah, doesn't sound like you.
Have you dug in on these horses?
Not a ton. I'm thoroughly impressed by the amount of volume Colombian Strange has got in the short amount of time. Look how many more wins it has than the others. I mean, you consider they all are relatively the same age in terms of when they started racing. I'm going Colombian Strange. I got to do that. It's just got insane variance. I think Tish's 2K does play very well in the 6 gate. Has that good but not crazy variance, which you don't almost need all the variance. But Colombian Strange is one of those types. If it can make it past this and into the grand final, it's got the variance to compete.
Does Colombian really have 2 O's in it? I feel like that second O should be a U, right? Colombian
country, right? I think.
I
think
found
the country is 2 O's. The city
does
of
it?
South Carolina is a U.
Okay. Yeah, Colombian Strange looks pretty darn good. Yeah. It's probably pulling what I don't even know what 6 gate odds would be winning this race, maybe 3-1 odds or something.
Yeah, I mean it's got top 6. Yeah, I bet it's probably 3.5 here. I don't think you get any better than that because it's not gonna have a winning run more than 30% of the time, just due to massive variance. So it's hard for those types to get any better than 3.
So reminder, we're gonna have 6.
The race is off, by the way.
All right, I've got
it close up. Yeah.
Share this tab. There we go. Oh, we're underwater. Thanks, Ed. All right. Let me close wagering. So we only got 11 wagers in. So you guys got good odds. We've got one person on gate 1, 1 on gate 2, 5 on gate 3 with Colombian Strange there, 1 on gate 4, nobody on gate 5, and then 3 on gate 6. Who was gate 6?
1 on Tisha is a good value.
Blood Passion for Cadet.
Blood Passion's a good horse as well.
So, what was I saying? Yes, 6 races. Hopefully, Zed will get the grand final. I'm optimistic they get it scheduled for us in 15 to 20 minutes after the marathon champion runs, and then we will just do one wager on the grand final winner from there, so we can kind of watch it without doing more wagering. 200 meters left. Blood Passion's looking good. Does Blood Passion have this, Kevin?
What a weird break, I guess. I don't know. You're tricking me with my eyes here.
No. Yeah. I pulled the Soul's Vanish. Who is this? What horse
Pacific?
is this? Pacific Bold for Slug Dome.
Wow.
Congratulations. But the top 2 do advance. Also, Tickle. Yeah, Tickle My Fancy. And that was Mr. Marr. Let's see. Yeah, that was Mr. Marr. So congrats, Slug Dome and Mr. Marr. Punching your tickets to the grand final. Our first 2 of 12 grand finalists for tonight.
Did anybody have gate 5? Was that the one that nobody picked?
That was gate 4. Gate 5 won. You're right. Yes, nobody picked it. So that's over. All right.
The people who forgot to wager lucked out there.
Maybe that was strategic, Kevin. Yep. Okay, we're starting wagering on the mid challenger now.
Give the people more money.
Oh yes, let me give money.
Replenish the bank accounts for.
Thank you for reminding me, Kevin.
Maybe 1,000 each time.
1,000 sounds good. Even though only 11 of the how many people in here lost money. So this race actually has. Let me show the tab. This race actually is a 12 gate. So what happened here? The mid challenger, and I guess we should back up and explain. The Challenger bracket was Elite, Cross, and Pacer, right? So those are the first three races: our Sprint Challenger, our Mid Challenger, and our Marathon Challenger. And then the Champion brackets were Legendaries and Exclusives. So the Mid Challenger here, we only got 8 signups. So Joe decided that we would run these as 12 gate, and he threw 4 zombie horses in here. They're class 6 horses. So these are not eligible to advance. I'm not sure what happens if one of these finishes. I don't think they'll finish in the top 2, but if one does, I think he'll probably just act like they weren't there and move everyone up.
Mhm.
But anyway, that's why we have 12 horses in this race, and then also the champion marathoner. We had 8 sign up for that. So there's a 12 gate race that will finish off these finals. So wagering is open for this 1,800 meter mid-runner challenger. We've got 8 horses that you can wager on, all gates 1 through 8. So go ahead and fire away there. Kevin, have you looked at this field?
Not much, no. I was interested that Rescue Zelda. That's one we wanted to watch. It's a high variant but class 6 horse, so it's thoroughly out leveled here. But it's got that nice U shape, so I'll be curious how it runs 300 levels down.
That's a 268 too. Let me take a look. Rescue Zelda. And if for any reason Zed is not able to get those races scheduled for us, we will give the horse to whoever's leading after the 6 finals races, and then we'll have the grand final run tomorrow night or something like that. But I think they'll get it scheduled. Here's Rescue Zelda. Yeah, a lot of variants there. Nice
Yeah, I mean,
odds that it's pulling.
it's so good in class 6. So like with the current system, there's no reason this thing can't be up in class 3 or 4 in a couple hundred races and still play well. So I'll be curious to see how it tracks. But it definitely has the variance to make some noise in this race.
Also, if anybody has any questions or observations on Breeding 4.0, feel free to drop them in the chat, and Kevin will try to keep an eye on it and catch those questions for discussion. And just if we don't, just keep dropping the questions. Eventually, we'll see it, and we're going to have some downtime between these races and the grand final. Did Joe give us the payout? I think he
Yep.
did. He did.
Yep.
Okay, let me share this. How do I get it?
And if all goes according to plan, right, we have these 6 races, one already being completed, running for the next 30 minutes or so. And then, what is it, 20, 30 minutes in between where we're just going to chat, answer questions, and then the grand final starts around 9?
Yeah. 9
so
Eastern time, which is 55 minutes from now.
Right. So looking like an hour and a half type stream. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Yeah, normally we don't plan on streaming this long. Zam 4 payouts. Okay. I got to upload these into StreamYard to show everybody what their payouts look like. Let's see. We got a question here. What's blockchain saying?
Yeah, we did not breed that one. It's one of the best. We'll go in deeper on this one as well as some other like really good class 1 4.0s in between the tournament. But yeah, that one we identified as one of the best. And then Jake was willing enough to sell it to us at a reasonable price. We actually got it pre-maiden, so we had some agreement where we did some profit sharing of the maiden, and it actually did get a second place in the semifinal. So totally tanked. I think it had a 5-second 12th in the final, but we got a little bit out of the second place, so we split that. But really good pairing, right? It's the very best there is, and something special.
Yeah, Icicles said that we got it super cheap, which is interesting. Like, I honestly, I have no idea how anybody's valuing anything with the current price of Ethereum, the weak prize pools, the looming future direction of the game that doesn't include Breeding 4.0. Like, it feels very ominous to me. So we're buying because we don't want to fall behind in breeding 4.0, right? We bought quite a bit and we bred a ton, but we don't feel great about valuations, right?
Yeah, it's such a weird, like every offer almost feels like a low ball until you do the math and run the numbers on like how the heck it's actually going to pay off the value. And even paying like what we did, which I don't know, what was it, like 0.35 or something. Like, I mean, that's $1,200 right now, and there's not the game has to hit a pretty good upside to even get that back with that good of a horse. We're banking on obviously being super good on the track, which I think it is, and being able to breed quite well. Oh, we're missing the race.
Yeah, my bad, my bad. We got caught up here. I'm closing wagering. Am I sharing the race?
You got it.
Okay, good. I got to get over to close betting. Okay. Thanks, Icicles. We totally would have just missed the whole race. We got 500 meters left. The important part here.
Save the questions for between the races.
Let me show. Dancing Tune is out in front. 400 meters. Is anybody coming on here? Seed of Festus is in second. Not going to hold on, though. There's Rescue Zelda. I think Rescue Zelda might have it, Kevin. You might have called this one.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it, right?
Class 6 Cinderella Story.
I'll be curious how
Gotta
many
love
people
it.
wager on that. I mean, is that the lowest level to ever win our maiden race?
Definitely. What was it, like level 60 or something?
Something like that. I think it was like a 30 out of the womb. So like it. I mean, what it was that was like a 2 length win.
This thing could win it all. As a mid, I don't
Imagine.
know. I don't know what his
Gosh.
distance preference looks like, but um, okay, we're 0 for 2, Kevin. Also, we forgot to mention, what do we? I don't even know what we're doing anymore. Are we donating like half of any profits that we're not likely to have profits at this point? I don't think, but so we
Sure.
bought it for a lot of. I think we had like a quarter of the field in this event because nobody else signed up. Maybe we just
Yeah.
don't. We need to like not play anymore, possibly. I'm not sure. Who won that one? Rescue Zelda, Gate 5. Let me tell you how many had it, Kevin. Only one
Take
person.
that leap. There's your pacer representing. Who says pacers aren't fair in this format?
Only one person, Kevin, had Rescue Zelda. They didn't take your advice.
Leaf did.
Is that Leaf's horse? I think Maple Leaf is not Leaf, is it?
Could have fooled me if so.
It could be him. No. All right, wagering's open for the marathon. Let me get over there, show the field. We got 4 minutes till race.
This one was one of the biggest. I think this had 19 horses to start. Obviously, we narrowed it down to 6. So it's one of
Congrats,
the bigger
Leaf.
pots.
It was
One of
Leaf's
the bigger
horse.
pots where I think the winner gets around $100 for this, as well as if you qualified, you got some money. If you qualified highly, and then you're eligible for the grand final too. So got a couple in here. Some of our best C3s are
Yeah,
in this. I
Seekers
think
Nine Lives was probably our best C3 breed, right?
I
We
think
got
so.
Newton. We got Newton Del Mundo too. Was really good, right?
I think Seekers is better. I mean, this is the one that can like. It was pulling close to. Was it Fleur? It was close to, or I can't remember. I think Fleur went up in class 2, but they were pulling similar odds. So I think if this one, if we get it to even like 500, it's going to be the best thing we bred out of this crop.
Sorry, Ranch. I see Ranch Bonanza said that he put down Gate 5. It didn't seem to take it. There was only the one wagerer, which is obviously Leaf. He's in the lead now with 19,500. So make sure you put exclamation point bet and then space gate number and your wager. And I think it should pop up. It doesn't look like anybody's getting confirmations, does it?
We're for a
Yeah,
while.
I don't know what's going on with it. But sorry about that. Anyway, the payouts. Let me show the payouts real quick. I did get those in here. Here they are. So, and let me take away this comment. There we go. Here's what the payouts look like. We can show them a little bit later too. So down at the bottom is probably what you care about, the US dollars. So yes, the biggest pot is for the champion mid runner because there was 26 horses in that one. We did the same thing as before, I believe, right? Where we had the bigger ones kind of subsidize the smaller ones. So these, like the champion marathon, are only had 8 horses in it, right? And it's got a $306 prize pool for it. We did beef up the prizes for the qualifiers too. So like if you had a horse that just qualified, you're getting a little bit more this time than you percentage wise than you would have in the past. So look good, Kevin.
Yeah, looks good. So one of the most competitive ones about to pop. And once again, I think the grand final format typically favors these marathoners a little more than sprinters. So the two that represent here have a decent shot with how they've rebalanced the class 1 levels, especially. It's just not nearly as insurmountable as it used to be.
Yeah, and what we're looking at is like I can't highlight on this thing, I guess, because it's an image. But group final, first, second, and third, and then 4 through 6 is the payout for these. If you finished first or second in your group qualifying, then those were the payouts in those two columns. Just kind of a little bonus for qualifying well. And then you got your grand final prizes down there at the bottom. All right, so let me get back over to the race. How do I hide this? There we go. All right. So we got 28 seconds till race. Kevin, who are you picking? Did you give me a pick?
I'm going to go Please Festus. I think that level of variance is a little better suited. Wild Speculation, Seekers 9 Lives both have a ton of variance. So it's just a matter if they get lucky or not. Please Festus is a little more steady. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I've been running all of our class 3 horses the past few weeks. Oh, I better get the race up here. And I know that I've seen Boomfish and Third Meet are nice ones too. I'm sure Wild Speculation must be decent too to pull a flame here, and enough already must also be to even be in the race. But I think this is a pretty solid field. I'm going to take Seekers 9 Lives though.
People did a good job, I guess, enabling you to enter at like up to 10 races in. Like there were a lot of the really good horses in these lower classes were entered into the maiden. So I'm not surprised to see a lot of the heavy hitters in these races.
All right, we got 2,100 meters left. We're on the nice Z token track here, Kevin.
Just glad we're not underwater.
I'm going to hide the positions.
You like that?
You'd be on your toes.
I think how quickly can it adjust? I like having it and then like missing it when it becomes crunch time.
Okay. It can adjust quick. It's a button.
Sometimes your internet is a little spotty.
It's not my fault. Where's Keith? We tried to get Keith and Souls on. They're boycotting us, I guess.
They have families and things.
Yeah. Keith will be on next time, I think he said. He wants to talk about photo finish or something.
How about the? We'll talk about after this. But one of the maiden winners was named Photo
Finish. Oh yeah, that was
Carter. That was
Carter. Yeah.
They tweeted it out and everything. It was so good.
Yeah, I feel like that's one that they should have just forgotten to tweet. You know,
they were just running the play, not even looking at the name. I'm sure.
1,200 meters left. Wild Speculations out front there. Nice pink horse.
Third meet.
Third meet looks pretty good. That's a nice break, huh?
Looks like it. Definitely enough already.
One of ours has got to come on, right?
I don't know.
I feel like Seekers is coming.
Seekers will win or lose by a lot.
Seekers is coming on.
No. It's one of those that it never looks like it breaks.
Ugh, this horse is. Which one is this? Boomfish.
Oh, we're so screwed here.
We have no horses. We're relying on the champion.
Look at Seekers. Champion. Oh my gosh, not even on the screen.
That's a good pick. Good pick.
This is like a 6-second loss.
Oh, wow, and Wild Speculation came on quick too. I thought Boomfish had that for sure, but Boomfish will be advancing for Moon Mountain. Welcome back to Zed, Moon Mountain. I love seeing the old stables come back in. Hopefully Zed is able to retain them this time.
Right. The game's fun as it is. Is it too little too late? We'll see.
I mean, I think if they reduce the price of breeding, like it's like such a no-brainer. Like I don't know if they haven't done it yet. Of course, we don't know what's involved in it on the back end, but like all resources should be on figuring that out at this point, right?
You would think, yeah.
Crazy.
But I think stuff is like 2 to 3x too expensive to breed. If you reduced it, I think things would pop off even more. There was a lot of breeding happening, even with those men's last season.
Yeah, I mean, there was a ton of breeding that
Seven and a
happened
half
just because
seconds. Look at that time.
2 people were on that horse.
You're
Seekers.
7.5 seconds
Crazy
behind.
variance. Yeah, live by it, die by it.
That's what we wanted. That's what we were clamoring for. That's what we missed with 3.0, having those off the screen zero break finishes at the exact wrong time.
We bred a lot of good horses this cycle, and a lot of people bred very exciting variance horses that are pulling great odds. I mean, it's going to be fun to see what happens as we breed down these lines in 4.0. If you can, as you speculated, stack variance and have variance creep, it could get wild, right? And which is why we spent so much on breeding and we bought a bunch of horses after seeing them run because we don't want to fall behind if that's how it plays out, right?
Yeah, I'll be curious to see like from the breeding side of things, because right now it seems like it's basically a more predicted, like skill based version of 1.0, where it's just instead of having the random DP, random variant, it's more correlated around the parents or ancestry at some point. But I'll be curious to see, yeah, do those 4.0s with more extreme variants breed better than the 3.0s who are like capped out at that cap that 3.0 could have, or is it like a max variance 3.0 has the same breedability as a max variance 4.0? Because right now, yeah, all the beasts that were created by 3.0s, at least like they got rugged on the track, the 3.0s did, but they're the best breeding pieces by far. So if they can compete with 4.0's breeding, then it's not as much of a loss uh, with this rollout, but we'll see.
I don't think there's much difference between 2.0s and 3.0s breeding wise, though. Do you?
No, not really.
Okay, I
What was
thought
it?
you were
It was
saying.
just basically the starting level was they changed the base ability formula.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, everything else was the same. Wagering is open, by the way. We got a minute and a half here on our first champion final. We got the sprinters. Um, gosh, more points. Oh, everybody needs points, Kevin. You're supposed to remind me. 1,000. Okay. Adding 1,000 loyalty points for everybody. That's blame Kevin.
yep. So this is another one where you see a lot of good horses here. Entropy squared. Yeah, I was going to say that in particular. Probably, I think it's definitely the best 1,200 in C2. Like I think barring any horse, maybe the side of Super Silver. I haven't seen them face off, but like absolutely the best 1,200 in the class there. I imagine it's going to class up pretty quickly to C1 and dominate there. But what a great breed that one is.
And Crimson Cows was the Crimson Chin's return to the breeding barn with Cows. Cows bred so well, Decayed. By the way, we should tell everyone. I don't know if they'll change it, but it seems like Decay doesn't do anything now that 4.0 is here. We bred our best. Well, I should say one of our best. I don't know what 5 horses. One Boom from Supreme Boom, who's also Decayed, right?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we had probably 2 of our top 10 are decayed. And I swear decayed just all it does is it takes you back one breed type. So if an elite typically comes out, like I said, averaging, I don't know, 350, right? Decayed elite will be more like 250. So it basically penalizes you 100 on base ability, but it doesn't do anything to variance from all we could tell. So it's maybe one, like a minor cost, minor penalty, but it's a game of variance right now. It's a game of distance preference. And I don't think there's any difference from decayed breeds versus, I guess, in heat breeds. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
keep breeding cows as much as we can.
yeah, of course. And I think Supreme Boom too. But I was gonna say my one beef with this breeding algorithm is that it doesn't really do anything to solve the devaluation of Genesis Nakamoto's that don't have variance or distance preference. Which it's an improvement. We'll get back to that point though, Kevin. Let's watch the end of this race here. Let me show the positions because I have no idea what. Oh, Buttercrunch is out front, Kevin.
We get a second? Can we just
Prepare
have
for
one horse in here?
heartbreak.
It's going to get passed by
Oh yeah, definitely.
Watermelon.
Watermelon Moon. It's a
Oh,
nice
Entropy
nice name
Squared,
for that
just
color.
dying by the variance here. We feel your pain there.
Ouch. Did we hold on? Maybe.
Could be. We had a massive level advantage. I think
Oh,
we
I think we
did.
got it. We got
All right.
one in.
It has virtually
I-
zero chance in the grand final, but we have a sweat.
Yeah. We have a lot of representation in that champion marathon,
Oh,
Kevin.
that's a funny one to talk about. We won't spoil it, but it's a pretty funny heat map, I'll say, in that race.
Congrats to Roush Racing. So he also was the owner of Entropy Squared. So he bookended this race
At
with
the U shape, yeah, the
yeah,
stable U.
All for Fire, and Entropy Squared. So oh, and it's a 6:05, Kevin. That's maybe that one will have a shot, even though it's a sprinter.
Yeah, never. It's 3 races. I mean, as long as you get a good roll on that mid one, it has this chance.
I'm rooting for. What was the name of that the Class 6 horse? Something Rescue.
Already
We
forgot.
forgot already. Oh, Rescue Zelda. I have it still pulled
There
up
you go.
in Zedge. Okay, wait. I'm going to give everybody another 1,000, Kevin,
Yeah,
since
pay
you're
the
not
people.
reminding me. Oh, complete wagering. Okay, that's completed. I will start wagering on our mid. So 2 more races here. All right, here we go. Wagering's open. Hold off. Let me give you your 1,000.
Hey,
Oh, and go ahead.
did you explain the how we're doing the grand final betting?
I mentioned it, but you go ahead and reiterate.
Okay, yeah. So for people who weren't around when he said it, or just weren't paying attention, like myself, so instead of doing individual races for the grand final, you're going to be wagering on who is going to be the grand champion. So you just pick one of the 12, I guess, and it's going to be winner take all from that point. We're going to double the points for that since it's just going to be one outcome, but I think it's going to make it a little more interesting, a little more sweaty instead of just the final race, meaning everything pretty much. At least this time, it's the entire grand finals.
Yeah, and we won't have to deal with, resetting betting and giving out points and stuff. Takes away from our high level production of this
Yeah.
this stream. So here we got Leaf. We got Leaf out in front still. Got Melba Street in second. 0-0 Alyssa. It's pretty tight there. Arbitrage run is at 5,500 without putting any wagers down. Kevin, I'm going to start. Sorry, what'd you say?
So we're the pace car. That's so you can just tell if you're positive or negative.
3 minutes to wager here. I'm going to start our giveaway for our subscribers. So here it is. Subscriber only. The next raffle that we do will be for everyone. This one's subscriber only. This one is, they're all ready or not as the sire. And then I think this one is Triumph Set Boom as the mom, which is Triumph for Hours and Ready Set Boom. So it's a ridiculously stacked marathon bloodline, which in 4.0, I mean, say what you want about the cost of breeding. It's still ridiculous the price it cost us to breed this horse, but man, the upside is pretty huge. If you roll any of the grandparents in this lineage, it's going to be great, and most of the great grandparents, right?
Yeah, I mean, look at what was it? Entropy Squared, I think, had entropy on both sides. I'm pretty sure it hit that on both to get the outcome it got. So that was a grandparent roll, but it does feel like the grandparent rolls are more frequent. We've seen that with massive duds in our 1.0s, but also just in a lot of our breeds, you can kind of tell it doesn't look much like its parent, but it does look like one of the ones up higher on the breed chain.
We mentioned won't let Florida Man bet.
Let's see.
Not sure why Florida Man. Did you just get here? Do you not have points? Maybe give it a minute. Anyway, what the heck was I saying? This race is pretty stacked. Keith and I bred Thanks Facundo. It's a really good variance, Class 2 horse coming from Open Darkness, I think, was the
Did you do
sire
more
there.
money? Maybe
Yeah, I gave everybody another
people are showing
1,000.
up as 0 arb. Okay.
Let me see.
Leaf is just flexing on the people with his points ask.
You want me to give out more?
Give out more. Come on.
All right. All right.
What's the worst that could happen?
Okay. Another 1,000 queued up. So anyway, lots of wrong is awesome. Now, I remember what I wanted to say to you, Kevin.
Wait,
First,
you have max bet set to 500. The high rollers can't get their wagers in.
that's accidental, I think, on this one. I don't know if I can adjust it after I've started wagering though.
Okay. We'll just put in
Unfortunately.
500 and then we'll up it for the next one.
Yeah. Sorry about that, everybody.
Unless this betting has been closed.
Let me reopen it. Okay, it's reopened.
Okay.
20 seconds to race here. Sorry, everybody. Anyway, what I was saying, lots of wrong. Awesome horse. I don't know where it came from. Like it's was probably like the bottom 10% of breeds that we did in expected outcome, I would say. And I just pulled like it must just be like a perfect roll. We did the breed again. Let me get over to the race here. We did the breed again yesterday, and
It was
pretty
horrible.
much glue.
Yeah. So it was absolutely like I don't know, probably a top 1% outcome for that pairing.
All
I
right.
think I don't know, that one's probably a top 3 4.0 mid in class 2, maybe even top 2. It's very good. It's comped pretty well to the 1.0s.
Let me close wagering. Sorry, we kind of debacled this one. But let me make sure that the next one is set up properly. What I was going to say, Kevin, is we mentioned on that last show, the YouTube show that we recorded about Breeding 4.0, it was still really early. We were speculating that grandparent roles were cranked up a lot. Like, I'm so confident in that. Like,
Mhm.
let me let me ask you, what do you think grandparent, like what percentage of the time do you think you were hitting grandparent roles in 3.0? And what's your guess on what percentage of the time you hit them now in 4.0?
I'll give the answer after the race. Don't want to do these horses a disservice.
Okay.
We have lots of wrong having a terrible run. So hopefully Big City Storm can represent.
Big City Storm is one that we bought from Southern Farm or Mustang, who I think is doing Southern Farm's sales. And it was pretty lackluster, I would say.
Yeah, it was a
Like most
UUU.
legendaries, right?
It was a UUU, and that was some of them that we got like from Great Blood that just looked underwhelming. But we've seen some more recent upside with legendaries, but doesn't feel as common as you would think with only 2 um, parents and no grandparent role.
Thanks, Facundo. What a run.
Wow,
Got a message, Keith.
another one where it's a nice troll name dominating these maidens. Oh, Keith
uh,
saw it. Keith is lurking. I don't know if he placed a bet on it, but we just got a Discord from him.
Big City Storm will be representing us in the grand final, Kevin. So we got 2 bolts now.
All
And
right, at least a
I'm,
mid can do it, and that's a high level mid, I think, or at least like a 530 something. So it's got a chance.
yeah, I feel like we're going to get at least one more in this next race. I don't want to jinx it. Knock on wood.
It'd be there's 8 horses, we have 5 of them, so it'd be tough, right? Isn't that the case?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It would be tough
It's
not
funny
to,
though.
but if there's a chance, we don't.
What gate was that? That was gate. First of all, let me get back over here. That was gate 4. Let me assign the winner. And then open up. Oh, I got to give more points out. We had 4 people on gate 4. The most popular pick, 26% of our wagers. Was a small pool because I messed up the wager. What should wager amount be, Kevin? The max wager.
I can just let it fly, right? There's only
Okay.
2 bets left. Let it fly.
All right. Let me make sure I adjust that before. I have it at 10,000. I'll just move it to like 100,000. There we go.
Yeah, do that
And
for do that for Leaf.
start wagering. Okay. So again, another race with 8 horses to wager on. Here they are. And Kevin, answer my question about the grandparent roles,
Yes.
please.
I was hoping you'd forget. So I would say for say like a legendary breed that makes an exclusive, I would say it feels like it's at least 50% parent, and then I'd say like 25-25 with the grandparents in 4.0. So maybe like combined, there's an equal chance of having a grandparent role versus the parent role. That'd probably be my bet right now if I had to like handicap it. 50% parent, 25 for each grandparent. 3.0, I would have said it was 2/3, 1/3, 2/3 parent, 1/3, or I guess 1/6, 1/6 on
I
each.
was going to say like 75-25. maybe even 80-20, and then like 10-10 for each grandparent.
Yeah.
But
Where it gets interesting is like if you breed down, let's say you're breeding exclusives, is it still 50% parent and then the remaining 50% is spread across grandparent and great grandparent? Um, it might be the case, or does it just like also decrease your chance of pulling the parent if it's an exclusive because there's more lineage to pull from? I don't know. We can test that out. I guess someone more data driven is probably going to figure that out before myself, but I'll be interested to see that play out.
yeah, all we know is that a lot of our 1.0s bred like crap, which makes sense if grandparent rolls are cranked up and you have a
Yeah,
little
we were
bit.
doing like if you're doing like 1.0, 1.0, then you have basically a 25% chance of actually getting the roll you want. Um, and then on top of that, there's pretty solid variance in both directions, variance on the variance and variance on the distance preference too. I think so. Huge upside, right? But not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, exactly, Mango. The 1.0s, like the good ones, almost none of them had good parents. Like we've got there's a few just like total random one. Like Triumph for Hours had pretty good parents, but the distance preference doesn't align, you know?
Yeah,
So
like
you're just really
Evergreen Gates the same way, where there was that Pearly, what was it? Pearly Gates on tour combo, where like
yes.
both good horses, but they're more sprint side. So you get some weird distance preferences sometimes, even though you do often get a pretty good variance roll from them. But a lot of times, like Y2K came from nothing, Diamonds from nothing. So some random stuff going on there,
Hmm.
which I think is how it should be, right? That's how you kind of nerf the 1.0s on the breeding side, and also why we think the good 4.0s that have the stacked bloodline throughout um, should be the premium assets in terms of breeding.
So Kevin, oh, I do want to get back after this race runs. Let's talk about what I don't like about breeding 4.0. But let's talk about this race first, since we got 32 seconds. We've got over half the field here. Nobody wanted to play in Champion Marathon with
But
us.
look, we have no flames. We have 5 of the 8, and the 3 non-arbitrage horses are the ones that got the flames, which is
Ye-
very hard to do, especially because like some of these horses are good. Like
I mean, Boom
um,
for Hours is a freak.
Boom for Hours is the best. I would say
Our
the
best
best
breed.
24 in Class 2. It's just it has way more variance than 2XU and I guess the other Class 1 horses. So it didn't get the flame. 2XU is a really strong DP horse. That one and Deathly, I think, are very similar at the top of Class 2 themselves. So interesting flameage here. Hopefully, chalk does not hold. I'm going to go with Unfortunate Fantasy as the winner. Off the
Okay.
wall.
I'm taking Boom for Hours.
The chalk. Chalk is
Boom.
probably what? I don't know. In terms of light or 2XU?
Uh, really? You don't think Boom for Hours is the favorite here?
I don't know. I mean,
I
I
think
don't
it
think the
is.
field is that. It's basically a 6 gate with this.
I
So you
guess,
have
yeah,
like
because those last four horses are
2XU is
total
close.
blue.
It pulls comparable odds at 24 and 12 gate. So I would think it has slightly better odds here.
Okay. I trust you. Was Ready Set Format just total crap? I didn't even, because you ran our class one
It was
manual.
fine. No, it was solid. It was probably
Okay.
like if it were breeding 3.0, it'd be a fine horse. It
Okay.
just can't compete with like the out dreads of the world.
Dancing Tune. Is that one? Oh, that's that's from Zombie Locker. I thought that was a good horse. All right.
Well,
So, oh,
McGinnis says he's got Boom for Hours and 70. Who's your horse on that one? There's a couple lurking, even in Class 3 that are going to be just as good or better.
did you ask me a question there?
No, I was asking McGinnis. He was
Ah, gotcha.
saying he's got our guy marked here in 70 levels.
900 meters left, Kevin. We're getting ready. Terms of light out front.
Good like level run for that. This is just a strong, high
Just
level,
grinding forward.
high distance preference. Not a sexy race in the slightest.
Okay. Ready Set Format. Come on.
And Boom for
Do
Hours is
something.
probably going to hawk it. If it was a Class 1 horse, it would definitely hawk it. We'll see if it can make it up.
I think it's got it.
I think so too. We avoided a good Deathly run.
But let me hide the positions just so there's a little more mystery. Yeah, I don't see anybody else. Oh, we,
I think
we didn't even
maybe
tell the
Anchor.
story about Deathly. I didn't realize Deathly was in this race, to be honest.
Deathly's not. No, it's 2XU.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. 2XU is like the 2400 version of Deathly. I think Deathly's the max distance preference, but they both have good variants, probably better than 3.0 could have. Nice. We got the exacta here. Very good.
All right, we got life.
Whew.
And
All
so
right.
does the audience, because 50% of any profit that we have is going towards the community fund.
And you picked the winner. Look at you.
Yes, I'm great. I'm awesome at this. Definitely. So yes, let me ping Joe. I think he's probably on the ball here. All right. Ready to send grand finals. Okay. He's probably right now compiling them. Anyway, let me assign the winner. What gate was that? Gate 6.
Yep.
All right. Only one person.
Wow.
That's a pretty good pot. 32,900 in that pot.
Boy.
So
Joe
whoever did
shipping
that,
already. Joe is on it. Now the
awesome.
ball's in Zed's court. Scary place to be, but I believe tonight.
Yes, Zed. I feel like they've turned a corner. They are not letting us down
It does feel
anywhere
that.
near as much.
I agree with that. I agree with that. New regime.
So I want to talk about Deathly. Deathly. We bred this horse for another returning Zetter that had bought a lot of horses from us in the past. Devshki is how I pronounce his name on Discord, right, Kevin?
Looks good. Yep.
And he asked us for a variance legendary horse and did not realize breeding 4.0 was coming, and we suggested waiting until breeding 4.0 came. And then he came, I don't know, maybe 4 days into breeding 4.0, asking for the breed, and we suggested, we'd been seeing pretty trash results from legendary, so we suggested maybe trying an exclusive. And we'd already bred out a lot of our legendaries, right? We didn't have a ton of options left, and I can't remember, what was the pairing of Deathly? Do you remember?
We had it was Loves of Fantasy. That was our
Love the
last
Fantasy, right?
good, I guess, Genesis, and it was a Butte, so it's fairly cheap. And then what do we pair it with? Death in June. Is that the pairing?
That sounds right. Here, I'm pulling it up for everybody.
So this is
Because
a 1.0 marathoner with a 2200 variants Genesis.
I've typed in Loves of Fantasy. Deathly is the horse I want. So yes, he came with a budget of like 0.1 ETH, which is understandable with like the ETH price, and it kept going up. But like breeding is so expensive, we didn't really want to sell a lot of breeds. But Deshki had been one of like our best customers, so we had to hook him up with something that had a fighting chance, right? He races this horse, and I think he didn't. I think he didn't have any Zed, so he didn't get odds on it right away. But it was looking good in the free races and the maiden. Finally, he got some Zed, threw it in a race, and it's just like obscene odds this thing is pulling. We thought it was the best C2 marathoner in the game, and maybe it was for a couple days, right?
I think it is.
It's
I think it's
still
the
in the.
best 26.
You think it's the best?
I think it's
He's
the
an
best
absolute
26.
freak. Yeah.
I mean, I think Amethyst Queen is the best C2 marathoner, just because it's got the nuts 1.0 DP and variants. But I think this is probably close, at least the closest to that.
Yeah. So we sold it for 0.1 ETH.
Pretty much already made that back.
Yes, things a little bit, but also happy for Devsky. I mean, I like seeing people coming back to the game. The game needs more people playing for sure.
And this is when this is not like an OP pairing. I mean, the Genesis is really good, but lots of death. Like if we ran this 5 more times, and we probably will, we're gonna have 2 or 3 duds, like total duds out of this, and probably one solid paid runner, and then this had to have been a 1 out of 50 outcome.
Yeah, I mean, Lots of Death is a good horse, but it's. I think this is a better breed than Lots of Wrong was, right? This Deathly breed, but not by a ton.
This is where it gets interesting, though, right? Not to get too theoretical, but like when you have these, this is a 3.0, but a 3.0 coming from a 1.0 where it clearly got that Death in June role. do you have some kind of weird like mutation on ancestry pools where this is like, okay, I'm pulling from the grandparent, death in June, and it's souped up because it's two generations down. Like this DP had to come from somewhere. It didn't come from these two parents. Death in June isn't even like a massive 2600. So it got some kind of positive roll on distance preference while keeping all the variants from these like mid type horses, and that's how you end up with a horse that pulls 4.5 odds in top 3 pays.
Also, I want to say I think that there's a big. How do I say this? I think the outcomes are elevated if there's a Genesis horse in the breed. But like you said before, you think that the Nuts is a well-bred exclusive with a Genesis. I think you're much better off breeding an exclusive with the Genesis than you are breeding two good legendaries together. I think there's something in the algorithm that gives like a boost to a breed that has a Genesis in it. But then if there's two Genesis, maybe not so great.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, to be determined in my eyes for that, but it would make sense. That'd be nice. Yeah, the
Yeah, the
races are
good
already
way
up.
to,
How about
yeah.
this? Let's go.
Zed on the ball. Zed
Go
is
Zed.
back, baby. We're back, Kevin.
So we have what, 15 minutes or so to answer questions or go through any other topics you want to talk through?
Yeah, let me start wagering though, because so remember, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but the app that we're using for wagering um, no longer has the option to use 12 different choices. So we've only got the first 10 gates here available for this. So yeah, unfortunately, and it's maybe I should change this, Kevin. Let
You
me
definitely
hold off.
should change.
Don't wager anybody. Let me close betting, cancel this, and let me change. Which gates should I leave out?
It's tough.
Probably two sprinters from. We got to leave Rescue Zelda in for sure. Maybe
I
just
mean,
gates 1 and 2.
1 and 2 are the sprinters, right? If you want to take 1 or 2, just I guess type it in manually if you want to do that, and we can keep track. It shouldn't be too many wagers on that.
I don't
think
know.
odds wise, those are probably the lowest.
Let's just take them out. Let's not allow wagering. I think there's enough options, and we don't have that many people wagering. So yeah, let me take those two out.
So if one of those two wins, whoever's in first right now takes it.
Yes.
Got
Yes.
Yeah, bottom 10 then.
Oh, dang it. Here we go. So, here. What were we talking about, Kevin?
I was just saying once you get this kicked off, we have 14-ish minutes to go through any questions people have or anything you wanted to talk through.
I wanted to talk about what I don't like about breeding 4.0. Like it's tough to make everyone happy, but I don't know. It just doesn't feel like they did enough to help out Genesis Nakamoto's. Going back to that whole argument of what Zed sold them for versus like what kind of value they have relative to Buterins, right? Like you'd much rather have a good Buterin right now, especially considering how much it costs to breed a Nakamoto, right?
There's like nothing going for. Yeah, I agree. There's very little going for Nakamoto's at the moment, right? You have Buterins who the whole advantage was base ability. Base ability does not matter at all in the current game. So you have horses that had a ton more variants because of pie theory, of course, and now they've classed up from like class 4 up, and they're the best horses in class 1. So they're the best racers. They're also the best breeders because you need the variants passed down. So by just totally making base ability irrelevant, they've effectively reduced all the value of Nakamoto's their supposedly premium asset, which it hurts other people a lot more than it hurts us, but it just feels off from.
I mean, we had exposure to it for sure. Yeah. And maybe that's the future vision. Hopefully that's the only part of the future vision that that's really significantly changing, because we really enjoy this game. It's fun. You're having a blast playing it. I know I am. But yes, there's a few things that could use tweaks for sure. So wagering is open. I gave everyone 2,000. Is that enough, Kevin? Is 2,000, or should I give more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it letting? Are you getting wagers coming in? Because we're not seeing it confirmed on the site.
Is it broken again? Let me see. Yeah, I've got four wagers coming in. Yes, we
Okay.
got four in there. There's already 31,000, 33,000. We got 5 wagers in now. So yes, the
Got it.
wagers are coming in. We got some questions, Kevin.
Yep.
Let's just go through. Let me make sure there's none before this. Okay, here's Cadet. If you have legs, yeah, I prefer to breed a legendary female with a Genesis stud, or um, I think I prefer using a. Yeah, I think anytime you can get a Genesis into the breed. So if you've got a good Genesis mare, I would take it into a good legendary, and get yourself an exclusive. And if you've got a good Genesis stud, yeah, either. I don't think there's a much difference, Kevin, between breeding a legendary mare with a Genesis and breeding an exclusive mare with a Genesis. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So that's our current. Oh, JR Skater wants us to look up caffeinated upshot. Pull that. I'll pull that up, Kevin. You take a look at this next question from um, Meganius here. Go ahead. Once I pull this up.
How much do you see odds change as you progress from the bottom of C2 to the top of C2 for a good variance horse? I feel like it doesn't move as much as you would expect when there's a bunch of variance horses in the race. Like, it definitely gets better, and you'll see the podium share go up quite a bit. I mean, I think I would guess, like, if you have a good level 401 variance horse, it's going to be pulling 9 or lower even from 401. And then I would even say, like, if it's really good, it's going to be like close to 8. So you probably get 2 points better. Maybe it goes from an 8 to like a right around 6, like a 5.9 type as a result. But depends on the field. Is my experience, at least. We'll see. There hasn't been a ton run up that much, but I think 2 points per 100 levels is a decent estimation. If it's a horse with less variance, I think it's going to matter more. Like, if you have a extreme DP horse with just like good, not elite variance, you might see it move more because you have your podium shares moving a lot too. So you need the base ability to go with your distance preference, because you're not going to have the upside of a super variance run.
Yeah, a couple interesting things here, Kevin. We didn't even tell people what we feel we've discovered since last show we recorded. Right, distance preference changed, like without a doubt. Right, we don't know
Oh yeah,
exactly what happened, but yeah, it's cranked up. Like we expected it to change in class one, right? With the level rebalance, it changed everywhere. It's like completely obvious as you look at results and odds and stuff like that. So distance preference is back, which I think affects the answer to this question. Like before knowing that, I would have said, well, we already kind of know how odds change as you progress in class two. That didn't really change, but it did change because distance preference changed. And I don't know how that affects. I mean, you already gave your answer, and you're the master here, Kevin. But I did see Grand Cru saying out on Twitter that levels don't matter, which for some horses that's true, right? For if you've got a really good variance horse, level doesn't matter at all, right? You look at Alp, what's its face in class one, like the King
mm-hmm.
Marathoner now. No, level doesn't matter. You can race that against any horse, but if you got horses with comparable variance, depending on the field, right, level matters quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to improve as you get higher levels. And one thing I've noticed in C2, especially because with the variance horses, the closer to like the average level of the field you are, you don't get as like widely fluctuating odds race to race. It just seems like a 500 has a little more. I guess the median run is a little better. So you don't see, like, for us with 9 lives, probably the best variance horse in C2. I'd put it up against anybody now that it's beating Jimothy quite a bit. But it'll go from like 7-2 in a stacked race to like 5.6 in a very comparable field, but it's at level 460. I don't think it'll move that much once it gets to 500, but we'll see. But like you said with DP marathoners especially, they are very back. I think Alp Dread is a good example of hitting the nuts DP in class one with some good variance. But then if you look at like Amethyst Queen in C2, the odds got so much better in like pre-post that. Thick Anus for us in C3 was a solid horse at marathon, but more like a 7, 8 odds horse, whereas now it's like flirting with fives in a lot of races. So they definitely buffed that. I think 1000s were buffed as well, but once again, they're just not far enough away from 1600 to fully benefit from that. But they are, I think, relatively better than they were a month ago.
Yeah, hopefully that's the future vision is add 800 and 600 and buff base ability somehow, fix Genesis Nakamoto value, and then we're good. We're good to go. Um, subscriber, yes, this raffle is a subscriber raffle, and then the next one is going to be for everyone. So I can just close this
Yep.
this one now. There's 11 of you. Good luck, everyone. I'm going to pull a winner now for the subscriber raffle, and then we'll do one for everyone right after this. So here we go. Leaf, and it popped up 4 times.
Wow.
Leaf is a big winner. I mean, Leaf has won a lot of horses from us. And is Leaf the owner of that Class 6 horse? He has won in the grand final. I know that. All right. Starting the other raffle now for everybody. Go ahead, get in there. It's ready or not. And I think this one is Delicious Boom, which is Ready, Set, Boom, direct offspring. Caffeinated Upshot. Okay. I'm sharing it, Kevin. Let's take a look at this. Did you happen to pull it up?
No, absolutely not.
Absolutely. 12 first
Looks
places.
good though. The shapes are always
Class
tough to
2.
analyze early on when they've had the 20 like 6 gate races. So like the Super U's have that little hump and almost look like W's when they play out, where they hump around 5 or 6. So this definitely has that.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see
not pulling
here.
great odds in the top 3 or
Yeah, this
even
looks
top 6 here.
like a free buffed horse where it has crazy variance compared to that. But when it gets in paids, it's fine. It's more like an average horse in paids, but maybe these are better.
Yeah.
I wish Z Lead, or I think Z Lead does show whether it's like a less than 100 or open class.
If
Zedge,
you
I don't
click
think
on it,
it shows
yeah.
that. Even if you click on it, I don't think it tells you. You gotta go to Zed and figure it out.
Okay. I have Z
But
lead here. Let me go.
but yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
fine. If you're pulling like around 10, it's probably close enough to even EV where it's worth it if you can get in there. Okay.
Yes. Here we go.
Yeah. So it's not bad. Like it's got good variance to pull a less than 3 ratio in some of those top threes. At 1600, it's solid. And then if you get a nice soft top 6 race, you're getting quite good odds there.
Yeah, just be careful if you're just moving fast and looking at buying a horse or something and you see these ridiculous odds, these odds are coming in free races, which
Yeah.
don't really tell you much.
It'll be like half of, I mean, this is a good example where they're
Yeah.
almost exactly half of what you would see in a paid.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next question, Kevin. Let me get back to the race field first. Okay, so here we go. We got 4 minutes left until our first grand final race. 2400 is going to run first, then the 1800, and then our last 1200. And I think there should be a leaderboard. I hope so, over on the zombie site. I guess I should pull that up while we look at the next question, Kevin.
Yeah. And once again, you're picking the grand final champion, only gonna be one
Right.
wager for all 3 races. So get that in before the first one runs.
We already looked at this question. How about XP? This is a good question. I mean, a lot of people say they killed the value of XP. I don't think that. I think that's a little bit over exaggerated.
Mhm.
It's definitely gone down a little bit. We boosted all of our best breeds to try to get them either to the top of their class as quick as possible and have the most races possible at the highest level, or potentially have that opportunity, right, to level them up into class 2 or class 1, depending where they're at, right?
Yeah, and I think it probably hurt the price a little bit in terms of the value previously, largely because it literally has less value in class 1 than it used to. But I do think removing Evo also had like a buff to the value of it, especially now. Like the most premium variance horses, almost all of them were in lower classes. So you have these horses like Taming Strange or Super Silver or Nine Lives, who are going to be the best horse in the game if they can get to 700. So for those horses, XP becomes incredibly valuable because they want to get there in as few races as possible, or just get to C1 in as few as possible. Because you see these horses jumping from C2 into C1. Like, what was it? Gotta Run was a horse that did it. And Gotta Run's a good class 2 sprinter, but like Introby Square, Dong Del Mundo, Rey Del Mundo would wipe the floor with it. And you see Gotta Run immediately pulling like sub nines in some open class 1,000 meters as a level like 5'10. So if you can just get to class 1, now that they're incentivizing with prize pools, XPs should be required to have that horse on at all times because you want to maximize value. So suddenly $1.40 per boost is not actually that much of an investment when you're going to be doubling or tripling your potential prize pools in fields that aren't actually that much harder in class 1.
Yeah, we just gotta hope that the prize pools bounce back. You and I talked about this. I really think that they should have waited to do that 1 million Z token kind of stimulus until after the maiden, because the maiden gets like so much focus from the community. Paid racing was probably way down. I mean, obviously, right? There's only 21,000 now because of that the following week. So I think they should just left it wherever it was for the week of the maiden, then done the stimulus, and then you've said it before. I think you said it on the last show. They really need to have like a monthly stimulus where it's like, okay, first week of the month is always going to be 1 million Z token, regardless of where things came the previous
Or
week,
yeah,
right?
or do like you just said. I mean, there's no reason they can't still do this. Where the first tournament week following a maiden is the juiced one, and it could be 50K. Like it doesn't have to be the full, or I guess the full million. It could be 500 or
I think
250.
because like a million is like 50K,
Right, there you go.
45 now,
So
depending on Z token price. Yeah.
yeah, so it would make a lot of sense. You have the big boon from maiden, but people aren't necessarily focusing on paid racing until the latter half of the week when they run out of their 21 races. And then the next week is when you really test out these maiden horses in free races, or sorry, in paid races. And then you also have your open class kind of go a higher volume as well. So then from there, if they're competing for a juiced pot, then it kind of perpetuates a higher prize pool for the following weeks. Do it all again 4 or 5 weeks later.
Crap, Kevin, we've only got 12 seconds till this race pops. Get your wagers in if you haven't, everybody. Let me see how many we've got. We got 18 wagers in, so 75,000 in this pot. Remember, you are wagering. I will flip over to the race in a second. You are wagering, as Florida Man asks here, one horse to win it all. This is to win the grand final, not to win this race. So I'm going to pull the race up. It's a long one, so we're not missing a whole lot here. And we'll continue to try to sift through these questions as we'll have time in between races here. I'm going to close wagering, and I'll tell you. So we had 18 bettors, Kevin. Closed now. We have one person on gate 3. We've got 3 on gate 5. We've got 4 on gate 6, 3 on gate 7. Only one person on gate 8. Nobody's on gate 4, 9, or 10. And then we've got 3 on each of gate 11 and gate 12. Did you have a pick, Kevin? Did you put a pick in for this?
I mean, I think the pick is Boom for Hours, but my burner account bet was on gate 12, back love. I thought I was gonna get better odds than even odds with against Boom for Hours, but yeah, big level there, decent enough variance. Marathoners are always favored in these environments. So
I like this horse, Rescue Zelda. I'm going to
oh
bet
yeah,
on that one. Yeah.
you're gonna
Rescue
remember the
Zelda.
name this time?
268. Joe's going to make a cool graphic for Rescue Zelda when it wins it all here.
Imagine again with it. What was it? Was it our maiden number 2 where the big underdog one?
Yeah, what was that horse's name? It was a class 4, I think, that beat all the class 1 horses, which was even more impressive then with how levels were working, because
Yeah,
it was going up against some like 580 horses or something like that in that race, I think.
that was nutty.
Okay, who's out front here?
I mean, that's a
Pacific
sprinter,
Bowl.
right? Pacific Bowl was a sprinter.
Yeah, I think the sprinters were up front.
It's a decent run because it's kind of hanging with Love back or back Love, and back Love has is a marathoner and has a ton of levels. So
Is
may
this
have,
back love? Yeah, it's back love.
yeah.
Should I turn off the positions? Let's get a blind
Oh yeah.
finish here.
I see Boom for Hours is a decent run going. I
Yeah, come on, Boom for Hours.
think it's oh no, look at that middle gate. Who is
The
that?
fish.
Boomfish. Oh,
Oh,
you
this is fish. Yeah,
spoiler.
this is boomfish. Boomfish. Can we get second though? We'll take a
I don't
second.
know. Maybe not.
I think it's got second.
You're more optimistic than I.
Really?
Nope. Tough sledding there. That was a great run by Boomfish.
Yeah. Do we know what the boomfish lineage is? I need to
I
look
could
this
only
one up.
speculate.
Let
I'll
me
check.
pick the. Oh, we don't need to pick a winner. Yes. Okay, I can just slide. This is so much better. Low stress. Boomfish. Don't have to give
It's
out points.
it's an elite colt.
Oh, this is Moon Mountain. So, he bred two good ones from Zoom, which is a
Yeah,
horse. I think that's the one he bought for like 0.004.
it's
Boomfish is on sale
Ponyfish
pretty
and
cheap.
Tanqueray is the Zoom one.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a lot of good outcomes breeding with that horse.
What's he running this thing in? I mean, that's not a bad price. 0.08 for this?
That's what he paid.
No, that's what it's on
Oh,
for
he's
sale
selling.
right
Yeah,
now. Yeah,
he likes to keep a lean stable. So
he
a
does.
lot of times, if you're looking for just like a solid runner to give you a chance in some tournaments, Moon Mountain Stable is not a bad place to start.
Yeah.
He had
Then
another
again,
one that was like 0.12. That was even better than this.
was that the one that was in the race early with us that we thought was like an absolute monster, and then more 4.0s came out? Was it
Sounds about right.
Tricky something that I could be describing like 20 different horses? I don't know. Somebody should probably buy this horse. We're not getting kickbacks from Moon Mountain. I think that's a
Yeah,
pretty. I guess then you got to do the math, right? And it's like, well, shit, that's still $320, but
it's very true. Yeah, that is true.
it's so crazy. Um, so where were we? Oh, we want to go back to the questions. Let me go back and make sure I don't miss the next race. The next race is about to start. Jeez, we should have spread these out more.
The marathon's always the tightest, so you'll be all right.
All right, share this tab. Okay, here's the race.
That was a horrible outcome for us, by the way. So we had a horse. Yeah, we 4th, 6th, 8th, 9th, 12th. So that's good.
Let me see if there's a leaderboard. I'm pulling up the zombie site. Give it a minute. Let's get back to questions here while we watch this race. Kevin, Mango had a question. How do you approach these new 12 gate top six races? Do you ever pair two horses together? What about entering three in top six? Does that not make sense against 5% rate? I mean, sometimes
Yeah.
we'll enter three, right? Go ahead and answer, Kevin, though.
Yeah, we do it all the time. You got to get volume to have like top. You need a lot of races to qualify in a 48 horse tournament where it's best 10. In some funnels, we have like 6+ horses, so you've got to at least double up in most of them. I don't worry too much about the EV there. I view top sixes mostly as just like you're treading water. No horses. Extremely positive ROI there because the double ups don't get enough for their 4th and 5th. The variance horses get nerfed, so it's a lot more level playing field for all horses, I think, which makes it fine for qualifying. Right, the way they have pricing staggered is first for in some of the classes, first in a top six, since the buy-in is more, actually gets you as much like more money earned than first in the top three. So for qualifying purposes, the fields are lighter, and you get a higher dollars earned as a result. So it's not a bad option. I'll
All
stop
right, how's
rambling
this
now.
race
We can
looking
focus
here?
on the break.
Yeah, let me get the comment off the screen here. There we go. 700 meters left. Who we got? Wild speculation out front. Don't think that's going to hold. Back love
Yeah,
is coming on decently strong.
we got what was
Is
our
this
gate
boomfish
winner?
again? That's
I think you're seeing things here.
not enough.
I like
It
our
happens quite often.
Big City has a good run going. Gate 10.
Yeah, and Big City can come out in the sprint too.
I think so. We may have found our. Oh no,
Let me
who
hide
is
the
that in
position.
gate
Who is
three?
this?
Gate three's flying.
Zelda!
Zelda!
No way! Go! Leaf. That
Oh
is
my
Leaf's horse.
gosh.
Congrats, Leaf. I mean,
Where did that come from?
even if you
It's
don't
class
win it all,
sixer.
that's
Oh
awesome.
my, it can't do this, right?
Uh, I don't know. Like, what does Rescue Zelda look like in the sprints? you
It's a
remember it?
mid.
What
So
is?
I mean, the
It was a
variance is
mid.
going
Yeah.
to travel. This horse has
Rest
2 wins in 3 races right now. Oh my gosh, what a run!
Okay.
Oh,
Doesn't look like he's run any sprints.
why would you with those mid odds? My gosh.
Right.
This
Maybe,
man, this is one you should be strapping XPs to and get it in some real prize pools to like once you get there.
maybe he is.
Could be, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's true. It's gotten 20 levels in how many
Third,
races?
third, 28 levels. 28 levels in
28
33
levels in
races.
32 races. That's a pretty good ratio. So he probably is strapping up. There's your XP value right there. You see a horse like this, get it classed up as quickly as you can.
It's a full-time job that I do none of. And I look at the horses I'm running. I'm like, oh, thank God Kevin is looking at these things and putting the XP on it.
It's a select few.
So
Man,
let me see the zombie leaderboard. Oh, yes, he does have it up. Great. Let's see. It's going slow for me, but it's going to be. Oh, wow. Rescue Zelda's in first.
no.
Let's go.
Wow.
Tied with Boomfish.
I mean, it's a
41-41.
domination right now, but those two.
And then we got Boom for Hours and Big City Storm right
Man,
there. All for Fire is a sprinter. What does it pay for a first place? What is it? 33. So if All for Fire wins, that puts it at 55. So it needs kind of a little bit of a tank.
wide open. The other thing I don't think we've mentioned yet is 12th place in the grand final gets a payout as well. So it's first, second, third, and 12th.
Let me pull the payouts back up. We got a minute until the other race pops, so don't let me forget.
Yep.
Here's the payouts once again. So $276 for first, 138 for second, 83 for third, and then 55 for 12th. So yes, currently we've got, let me hide this. Currently in 12th is Wild Speculation. So good luck, McGinnis. But hey, Seed of Festus is right there. And Buttercrunch.
There you go.
Buttercrunch is a sprinter though. With
I'm still shook
ability.
that Wild Zelda won that race. I wasn't even like looking at gate 3. I was just counting our money with Big City Storm in gate 10. Gosh.
Okay. 5 seconds to race. Let me get it pulled up. Let's go. Let's go, Zelda.
We've got a Legends League question after this grand final that we can probably close with.
We've probably got a lot of questions in there. We'll scan through and pick out maybe 2 of our favorites. And then we got to end the raffle too. All right. This is it. I know everyone's rooting for Rescue Zelda.
I know you are.
All eyes.
I'm rooting for Storm here. Gate 10.
Come on. Wouldn't you rather see Rescue Zelda win?
No, I'd rather the people win and get half of our funds. While we get the other half.
If Zelda wins.
I do like Leaf, but Leaf has already won today. Can't win everything.
Leaf wins it all. Okay, 600 meters. It's go time. There goes Thanks Facundo. Oh, it's glitching.
Oh, what a surprise. Come on, Stormy.
Oh, baby. Zelda, come on, Zelda.
It's a run. It is a run. Oh, Stormy. Come on, Storm. I don't even know if the wind's good enough there, but that's
Zelda didn't bring it. Okay. Well, yeah, that's going to be 33. I mean, we know Zelda didn't get a whole lot of points. Boomfish finished in 11th. I think we might have done it, no?
Did Big City Storm just win it?
I think so.
Zelda with that run may have held on to second.
All for Fire took third and was all right. Let's go back over here.
Buttercrunch was awful, so it shouldn't be a factor.
Yeah, Buttercrunch was in like 10th. Yeah.
I think Zelda got second here. We'll let the numbers tabulate, but
what did Boom for Hours do? Boom for Hours took 10th, so yeah, not in the mix.
Zelda did it.
All for Fire is going to be in the top 3, but I don't think enough.
It's not
right?
Going to catch Zelda. No.
Yeah, with a third.
I feel pretty good that I think Big City Storm won it. I think Rescue Zelda came in second.
See, we could have gave it to Zelda. Come on.
We still could. I mean, we can make the rules. But I
No, nobody
don't think
wants
Leeds
charity.
would want it given it to them, right?
No, nobody wants it given to them.
It's still a great story. Sometimes a Cinderella makes it to the national championship game and just happens to lose, right? Like Butler versus Duke when you have the half court shot hit off the back of the rim. So it happens.
Still refreshing here. We're pretty confident that's the result, though. Let's look what questions we got here. Let me scan through. Okay. Oh, there was Joe saying the leaderboard was ready. Thank you, Joe, if you're still here.
The other question is who came in 12th? I guess it was wild speculation, right? Because they got 12th in that race.
Oh, yeah, then it definitely was. Yeah, there's a lot of comments. Do you have any? There's not a lot of questions here. Okay.
We were going to look at one of the horses, right? You got a comment on YouTube about a horse?
Oh, right. Which one was that again?
Is it Voxide? Is that one?
Yes.
We have that, and then somebody asked about Legends League, and then we need the leaderboard to refresh.
I'll refresh the leaderboard first, then I'll pull up. You know what? I'm also going to end the raffle. Leaderboard has not refreshed yet. Okay, I'll pull up Voxide then. What was the question? Do you remember?
I think it was just general impressions on Voxide after 2 open class races in Class 1.
Yeah, here it is. I've got it. So Dan QD3SJ asked, what's your feeling on Voxide's odds based on 2 Class 1 open races? Is it a monster? So Kevin, you dug in on this earlier today, right?
I did my best.
Do you want me to pull up any of these races?
We can pull up, I mean, either one.
The top 3?
A really interesting one. I don't know, like, it's interesting timing to figure out you got a beast because you just missed the maiden. So now you either have to just accept you're not getting a maiden payout and run the crap out of it, or you have to wait 3 weeks with this thing in your back pocket. So it's a tough decision. We'll see what happens. But yeah, click on one of the open classes. So first off, it's like a 530 something level.
Is it these top 3s? Are those the open classes?
No, there's the top 6, I believe.
Top 6. Okay, we'll look at the one where it pulled 8 odds. 1,600.
And 1, right?
Yes, and 1.
I like Zedge here because they actually do the math for me on the win-place ratio. But I think, obviously, you can see the level here, right? The 530, the average level in this is probably 670 or something. So really outmatched in base ability. So to be pulling 8s in this type of race has got to be a good thing. It's not a totally stacked field since it's a top 6, but it's got some of the heavy hitters, right? Like Tycoon Prince is good, Bubs Gold's good.
Yeah, I mean, Bubs is right there.
So normally when I have one of these, we had a very similar situation with something very special recently. You kind of enter them and then look for comps of, I know I'm pulling worse odds right now because of the lower level, but if you look at the win-place ratio, a lot of times that will hold steady as you grow, as you get higher and higher levels. You'll just see the win odds go down and the place odds also go down in a similar fashion. So, for example, here, I would look at Voxide. You see the 2.2 ratio. I would look in the field, who has comparable variance to that. So you have Bubs Gold, Tycoon Prince. Slightly better variance, at least with this one race. You always want multiple samples. But in this race, better variance than Bub Gold. You have comparable variance to Tycoon Prince. And then you have Tycoon 166 levels higher, which is the reason why you have such a better place and odds to win absolute values. But this is kind of what I was saying earlier, where if you want to project how your horse is going to look leveled up, for me, I anchor really heavily on the win-place ratio, assuming you're running at close to your optimal distance, and the other horse is also running at their optimal distance, which I think, is this a 16 or 18?
16.
Yeah, I think it's close enough. It's probably an 18 horse for both, but I think it's close enough where I'd feel comfortable saying this horse 150 levels up is going to look a lot like Tycoon Prince. So not the top notch variants like a Cosmic Statesman type, but like a top tier level variant. So I would look for a comp in this, and I think we found one in Tycoon Prince once this thing gets leveled up. So with an 8 odds, it's very runnable right now, even at 534.
Unfortunately, Kevin, the leaderboard is still not updated. I don't know what's going on. Joe, if you're out there, hit some buttons or something. Make the leaderboard do something. So let's see. There was another question here. Oh, I wanted to point out Mr. Marr won. Mr. Marr won. Leaf must have gone all in on
Wow.
on Zelda in that race
We
or
came in
something.
5th.
Love it.
I'm
Congrats,
curious.
Mr. Marr.
Let's look at the other race real quick on this one. I'm just curious if that ratio held. Because that like 2.2 is a really good ratio. That means you're way more variance than the average in the field, which it'd mean more in a top 3, but in a top 6, it's still solid. Okay, so it's 2.5 here. This is actually good. It has Cosmic Statesman and From Out of the Tree in it. So those are like the top tier variance horses because those are the horses that classed up, like I was saying, from class 3 or class 4 all the way up. So they just layered on base ability. And you see the ratios from them, like a 2.2 in this harder field from Out of the Tree, 2.2 again from Cosmic Statesman. So it's not too surprising when you scroll down and see that Voxide had a slightly higher ratio this time at 2.5, meaning to me, in this race at least, it doesn't have the same top tier variance as those two freaks. But I think if Tycoon Prince were in this race, it would pull like a 2.5 ratio as well. So I wouldn't be too discouraged by that. It's still the 3rd best variance in this field, and still pulling sub 10 against 2 freaks. So really encouraging horse. I don't think it's like a god or anything, but I think it's well above anything that could have been created in 3.0.
Yeah, like level 700. Do you think if this horse Voxide is at level 700 right now in this race, it's probably pulling what, 7 odds?
Yeah, 7.5. I literally think it's Tycoon Prince. I think it's a baby Tycoon.
Let me see if the leaderboard's updated. Otherwise, we may have to get the pen and paper out.
Feel pretty confident.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
We did it. Big city, and everybody wins because half. I still don't know if we had any profit, Kevin.
We were like a quarter of the field in this tournament. So
we must have had like a slight little bit of profit at least. We'll let everybody know what kind of profit there is.
This is our first one. The first one we've won.
Yeah, I think it is.
What a moment! What a moment! Not the horse I would have expected at all. Probably the 5th one I would have picked, but we love it.
So we took home 276. Half of that half of our profit. We got to deduct all of our entry fees and stuff out of that. But second place for Leaf is $138 for Rescue Zelda. And then Moon Mountain took home 3rd, $83 with Boomfish. And then 12th place, $55 goes to we said Wild Speculation and McGinnis.
Mm-hmm.
So Joe will get all those prizes out. He's usually pretty timely in getting that stuff out. Congrats to all the winners there. We want to talk about Legends League. Yes. Who asked? Kaiju, I think, asked about Legends League. We just talked about this today, and we decided we're going to refund the people from the qualifiers because people bought in for like $20 for the qualifiers, and then if you qualified, it's like $100 value. So Joe's going to pay out that $100 because we're just going to let the dust settle and see what things look like. We don't know, like the Z Future Vision is supposed to be coming in Q2. I don't know, like that things are going to mix up a lot, right, with Breeding 4.0, and maybe that works really well with Legends League. But I don't know. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be withdrawing from Legends League because there's so many good new horses coming in.
There could be a case to like just totally revamp it now that C1's wide open. Now there's a bunch of new beasts out there, and just open up registration again and see what the interest is. But I think as it was, didn't make a ton of sense to immediately roll back out while things are just so in flux.
Yeah. So hopefully everybody understands. I mean, we will give first crack if and when we ever bring it back. Assuming we bring it back, we intend to, right? No promise. If it doesn't make sense, then it doesn't make sense, right? Or we need to rework it or whatever. But yeah, we'll give first crack to the people that, like we said, you're in Legends League. You're in it until you get relegated. So, or
Mhm.
you decide to leave on your own accord, right?
Yep.
So, let me end this raffle. Good luck, everyone. We've got.
In the raffle, and I will look into the wild speculation question. My gut says yes, you should, because it's already absurd playing 70 levels down.
That, you know what? I might not have picked the winner for this last wager.
So
It's not letting me though. Who won that race? Gate 11?
no,
No,
I think it was 10.
10. Oh, nobody wagered on gate 10.
Wow.
So yeah, I think that was right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Looking at
Um,
wild speculation, I mean, it's already one of the best 4 marathoners in class 2, and it's 433. So it's gonna immediately, like, even at 501 in class 1, it's almost certainly pulling 9 or lower odds. So I would absolutely class it up and boost that sucker to the moon.
I'm gonna end this raffle here. Ready? We got 25 people in it. Last chance!
Good luck.
Exclamation point raffle if you're not in there. This is for everybody. Okay, you've had enough time. We're closing it. Picking a winner. Florida man. Congrats, Florida man. All right, so Florida man won this one. Leaf won the last one, and then Mr. Marr won the wagering horse, which I think
Yep.
I think that was Star Boom, I believe was the mare I used with Ready or Not. So Star Strider and Ready Set Boom were the parents there. So lot of really good grandparent role potentials here.
Yeah, make sure you guys let us know what you name the horses. I'm curious to see how these turn out. No harm in doing a little maiden right now, or I guess Griffin right now, and then hold for the maiden. But find out that level, and then do our strategy and just throw it in a page, see what you got, and either have the dream for the next 3 weeks, or just immediately crush it. It was a giveaway anyways. Who cares?
Yeah, the only downside to that is if we're doing another maiden, we had talked about getting registration open, so it's like just open from now until the next one runs. So you can
Mm-hmm.
enter, not allow anyone to do race, but before you throw it in that Griffin, sign up on the zombie site. Um, so I guess we'll tweet out if that's what we're doing from the arbitrage run and arbitrage and Diamond Hands, Donkey Teeth account, whatever. Make sure you're following us there. Anything else, Kevin? Ready to wrap it
No,
up?
it's plenty
Marathon.
of your longest stream ever.
Congrats to all the winners. Thanks for coming out, everybody. We had a good time. Look forward to doing this again and answering questions. I think that was the most fun I had, was just going through the chat questions. Maybe
Yeah,
that's
good
just what,
questions this time for
just do
sure.
these. Yeah. Okay, everybody. Take it easy.
Thanks, guys.